Hey, what's going on, guys? I told you guys I would be back in here around the 20th pick. I'm a little bit late. Um, ESPN just gives me a notification. But man, we're back in here live talking about the NFL draft. And truly, the top 10, man, if you guys have been plugged into it, was kind of like chalk, right? Not a lot of surprises, really, if I can be honest. Um, once people start talking about Aston Genty going in the top 10, that's been a consistent thing for about the last 5 or 6 days. That happened. Uh, Tech uh, McMillan was suspected to go outside of the top 10. It's going to fall a little bit, but um, he he went as well. And uh Taker McMillan went in the top 10, so that was a surprise. Pittsburgh Steelers just made their selection. They went with Derek Harmon. And so to be honest, to be all the way honest, right? It looks like quarterbacks are gonna fall to the bottom of the first, maybe top of day two. Because when you look at quarterback needy teams, we understand that the New York Giants went with Abdul Carter, which I still think could make Kayvon Thibodeau available, specifically for us in Baltimore. When we look at the Bengals, they didn't go with Derek Harmon as I projected. They went with Walter Nolan. And I guess the biggest surprise of the first round was the Cleveland Browns trading out of that number two spot after they had been said to be in love with, infatuated with Travis Hunter. And they traded out of that spot and went with Mason Graham. The Jacksonville Jaguars move up to take Travis Hunter. So shout out to Jacksonville, man, for having the guts to go and handle that business. Um, Thus far, man, if I can be honest, the winner of the first round is the players only, right? There is no team that has done any work that has, kind of created enough buzz to say that they have overtaken anybody, that they have got the steal of the century or anything like that. This is the kind of draft, in fact, as I keep watching my phone for the updates, this is the kind of draft where, in honesty, it was just kind of average, you know. And when I say average, I don't mean the talent was average, but there was nobody that was really standing so much higher uh above everybody else. You had basically your blue chippers. You had Cam Ward, best quarterback in this draft class. You had best pass rusher in this draft class, and Abdul Carter going number three. And you had Travis Hunter, the best wide receiver, and also the best corner apparently, going. And so they were all gone. Will Campbell, best tackle in this draft, he was going at number four. Um, and I guess the best pure wide receiver, meaning a wide receiver that just plays wide receiver, Tech McMillan, he was going in the top 10. And so when you look at it, it just seems like everybody went with some of those previous projections. A lot of that is what we saw in this draft so far. Could something happen down the stretch to kind of shake things up? Yeah, it could. But let's get into Baltimore Ravens now. Unless I missed it, Donovan Izaraku is still available. He's a guy that I think that we could be interested in. Malachi Starks is still on the board. He's a guy that we could be interested in. Um, both of your top guards left early, Gray Zubel and also Tyler Booker, both going earlier than projected. So that takes them off the board. So I definitely don't think that offensive line is where we're going in the draft. And I think that as I'm looking down who's left to draft, you got the Chargers, you got the Packers, and you got the Vikings. I think one of those teams takes Malachi Starks. Uh, that's what I think first and foremost. I think one of those teams will take a wide receiver. It's probably going to be Gordon, probably coming off the board. In fact, as I'm thinking about it, let me refresh my phone. Um, I think you're going to see another running back come off the board in the first round. Let me refresh, make sure I'm not missing a pick. But man, this draft has not had as much activity as I thought. I have not been like watching for trades and anything like that. I just been watching for who was being selected. And so if there's any other trades, I don't really know about them. I think everybody kind of held their own position and went with the guy that they saw fit. No tricks, no schemes, no plots, no plans. Everything kind of just unfolded the way that the way a lot of the projections went as far as people projecting certain players to go at certain places. I think the only difference is like maybe a team that was going to take an edge rusher took a different edge rusher, but all your top edge rushers are off the board as far as the what you would call high end, top end guys. Um, and no, the Bengals did not take Walter Nolan. Actually, the Bengals took Shamar Stewart. And Shamar Stewart is super athletic, and we'll talk deep about this tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. But Shamar Stewart is a good edge, but he does not have the productivity. And so I think that the Bengals are just simply taking him on potential alone, right? That has to be what they're taking him based upon. Johnny Barron is gone to the Broncos, forming a really nice duo of cornerbacks in Denver for sure. Let's see. Let me see who else kind of catches my attention. Chargers got their pick in, and I was right on the money. I called another running back going, and Amarion Henderson goes to the Chargers, which again still puts us in position for Izaraku, a high end edge rusher, puts us in position for Malachi Starks. I think that the Green Bay Packers take Malachi Starks off the board right now. I think that that's going to be their pick as they look to kind of add to and rebuild their secondary. And if Green Bay doesn't take Malachi Starks, I think the Minnesota Vikings do. Um, when you look at your interior defensive linemen, um, at this point, all of them are going to come out with a very similar grade with what they can do, stop the run, clog up the gaps, and some of them are going to be able to provide some pass rush ability. And so I think that I think let me see let me see who is listed as the best player on the board. Let me see where I can find that at. See, Green Bay is on the board, on the clock, and they got 5 minutes left. So let me see if I got time to look that up. I think Green Bay or Minnesota, like I said, is going Malachi Starks. Um, at this point, I don't see any point in the Baltimore Ravens moving up. I don't think that there is a guy that they should move up for. Mike Green is also available in the context of a pass rusher. However, and you guys know with those off-field issues, the Baltimore Ravens have probably got a red circle with the red line through it, exiting him out of potentially being a Baltimore Raven. I don't think that he's going to be a Raven, but somebody's going to give him a chance, just like James Pierce Jr. Somebody's going to give him a chance, and so there are some offensive line talent that's still available. Will Johnson's still available. I forgot he was still on the board, so he could be an option. He was thought of as the number two corner in this draft, but his medicals, make him questionable. So Green Bay could take a shot at Will Johnson for sure. Let's see here. Let me go down here. Let's see. I don't have the chat on, so Please respond if you want to in the comment section. I just wanted to get back in here and talk about what we're actually seeing. Um, there's no another thing I noticed. There is no rhyme or reason to this draft, right? There hasn't been a run on any particular um, position. There wasn't a run on interior defensive lineman. There wasn't a run on um, any of that. Looks like the Green Bay Packers have their pick in. Let me make sure this is right. Looks like the Green Bay. Hold on, let me go all the way out just in case. I don't want to be talking crazy, looking at one thing and it saying something else. No, their pick is not in. Their pick is not in just yet. Um, I think if you see Green Bay, this is another thought that I'm having right now. I think that if you see Green Bay go cornerback, maybe Will Johnson, maybe Trey Amos, I think you're seeing the end of Jair Alexander in Green Bay. In fact, I would say that it's the end, no matter what they take right here. So just waiting on Green Bay to get their pick in. Man, they're gonna take it all the way down to the wire. It looks like they still got 2 minutes and almost 30 seconds left. So when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, man, of the guys who are left, I think the player that will most benefit us right now would be Izaraku. After Donovan Izaraku, it probably would be a cornerback like a Will Johnson. After Will Johnson, I think that we could probably trade out of that 27th spot because, like I said, Mike Green is a good pass rusher, but they're not going to draft him because of his off the field stuff. James Pierce Jr. is a project. I think you could trade back and still nab him. Like I said, your top offensive line, both tackle and guards, are gone. You still got Josh Simmons, who's available. If you want to go offensive line, we still have Josh Connerly available, who could sneak into the bottom of the first round. Now, I think, though, this is what I'm thinking. After Green Bay, after Minnesota, let me get these numbers together. Green Bay is 20. Let me go all the way back down on ESPN. Taking a look at this on my phone while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see. Let me see what Green Bay has going on. What number they have. So Chargers. And so Green Bay has the 23rd pick. Minnesota has the 24th pick. And then Houston has the 26th pick. Okay. With Houston needing offensive linemen, I think Houston goes with one of the offensive linemen who are available. Again, that's Josh Connerly. That's Simmons out of Ohio State. I definitely think Houston's going offensive lineman. Their defense is pretty straight, and they traded away Laremy Tunsil, so I think Houston's going offensive lineman. I think that the Rams, because of the work they did last year along the defensive front, they're probably going secondary if somebody's available. So I believe the Rams could even take Malachi Starks. I don't think Malachi Starks makes it to us. I'm only addressing Starks because I know that in all the pre-draft stuff, we were supposed to, that being the Ravens, supposed to have been in love with Malachi Starks. He is a good player. He can do a lot of things on the field. But as I can remember, there hasn't been a safety come off the board yet. So you still got Starks, Emin Worry. You still have, let's see who else, Xavier Watt. So all of your safeties are still there. And so that's where your top end talent is as far as position groups. Safety still have the talent. There's still some talent with the There's still some talent with the interior defensive lineman. There's still a couple of edge rushers. So there's a lot of talent, of course. Top end talent still left. Again, no blue chippers, but still good players who can plug and play a role. Day one this upcoming season. Green Bay's pick is in. Just waiting for the announcement. Let's see who they pick. I bet they either took Will Johnson or they took Malachi Starks. Let's see who they took. Which then leads us to Minnesota. Come on, make the announcement. Make the announcement. Let me see if I can find ESPN on my PC so I don't have to keep looking at my phone. All right, let's see what we got here. Green Bay. Okay, yeah, this may be a better option for us here. We can talk and look at the same time. I didn't really want to hear any commentary about who and what and when and where. Just want to kind of talk, make our own assessments, make our own predictions real time in real time. Excuse me. Let's see, Green Bay right here. Come on, make the announcement. On the clock, pick is in. Who are they picking? Come on. Let's see. On the clock. I believe somebody is going to trade. As I'm thinking about it, where we are right now, I believe somebody is going to trade into the bottom of this first round. I think those trades start pretty soon. All right, saying selection made. Tell me who the selection is for Green Bay so we can move forward. Let me go down to the other end. Oh, dadgummit, it just went straight to Minnesota. Let me go down here to where Green Bay is. Let's see who Green Bay took. I bet you it's Malachi Starks. Let me get down here and see. Come on. Okay. Yep, I told you. That's who they would take. I knew that Green Bay was going to try and rebuild the secondary. I knew that they were going to kind of come in pursuit of Malachi Starks, and that's who they took. So I guess without knowing what's on the Baltimore Ravens big board, oh no, Green Bay didn't take Malachi Starks. I'm looking at best player available. Green Bay took Matthew Golden, and that makes sense for Green Bay. It makes sense for Green Bay to go ahead and get a wide receiver. They had some guys, man, get hurt last year. They have a nice young core. So excuse me, forgive me. That was not Malachi Starks that the Green Bay Packers took. That was Matthew Golden. I was looking at best player available list, and so Matt Starks still on the board if we want him. Izaraku is still on the board. I am actually surprised that Izaraku is still on the board. And the question is, do we go edge or do we go safety? I don't know. Both are in need. Both your guards are gone. The Minnesota pick is in. Okay, so they did their thing pretty quick. They knew exactly who they were going to get. I bet this is the Malachi Starks pick with Minnesota, especially with this being Harrison Smith's last season. Probably Harrison Smith is in his 14th season. a really good player for a long time. He would be a great shepherd for a young safety, a great mentor for a young safety like a Malachi Starks. I bet this is the Malachi Starks pick. Let me get down here and get in position to see when this thing pops up. Who is actually the pick? Let me see. Where is? I don't have it. It must be in my bag. Tomorrow night when we live stream, I'm gonna put some music on so we have something to old school term, have something to jam to. Um, Waiting on the Minnesota pick to come in. Man, we are getting close to the Baltimore Ravens pick. Minnesota's pick is already in, which means the next team is already setting up to make their selection, although they're not on the clock yet. The Houston Texans are already looking at their big board, you can best believe. And what I would say is that their big board is going to be set up with offensive tackle, offensive guard, and probably a running back. They probably need a young running back, and they probably also need a wide receiver. Come on, Minnesota, put your pick up here. ESPN is moving so slow with their site. I just didn't really want to. I watched it live for a little bit, but I got tired of hearing the commentary. And that Green Bay pick, man, I think that's a good pick for them. A 6'3" wide receiver with 4.3 speed, a quarterback with a big arm, good ball placement. I think that they're going to be ready to compete. Who actually won that division last season? Oh, the Detroit Lions. That's who won. That's who won that division last season. And so I'm interested to see how things shake out. Green Bay has an established quarterback. Detroit has an established quarterback. And so, they're going to be around. The Chicago Bears have made it a point to build that offensive line for the young, for the young passer, and then they go out and add Tyler Warren. Now, Chicago has done exactly what they were supposed to do with a rookie quarterback. They did exactly what they were supposed to do with, just building around him. Nope, it was not. It was not Malachi Stark, so he is still on the board. Up, the New York Giants just traded back up into the first round. They are on the clock with pick 25 after the Minnesota Vikings took Donovan Jackson. You know what that means? They are drafting a quarterback. I just don't know which one. Is it going to be Shedeur? Is it going to be Milroe? Is it going to be Jackson Dart? I think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders because Shedeur and Malik Neighbors have some history together, and they're pretty chummy. They're pretty chummy. So I think that could be an easy connection. He can just sit behind Russell Wilson, sit behind what's that dude, Jameis Winston, and just learn about pro stuff. Maybe more from Russell Wilson than Jameis Winston. But I think it's gonna be. I think this pick is gonna come in pretty quick. They wouldn't have traded up if they didn't know who they were after. But it's 100%. This is the only thing I've gotten right tonight in my predictions. It's 100% going to be a quarterback. I'm super surprised that the pick is not in with 3 minutes left on the timer, but I absolutely believe that it's going to be Shedeur. Well, I'm sure it's going to be a quarterback, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. I think that would be a great pickup for what they got going on with a young running back, an offensive line that's building, a defense that's going to be straight for sure with all of those edge rushers. I think they're gonna trade Kayvon Thibodeau. They don't have no reason to trade him right now. And this is when you control your draft capital for sure. When you can get a return on your investment right now. But I think the New York Giants are getting ready to take a quarterback. They still got 2 minutes on the clock, so this changes things a little bit, right? Um, Offensive linemen were super important in this draft, as you guys see. I mean, you had Gray Zabal go earlier than expected. You had Tyler Booker go earlier than expected. Then you saw Donovan Jackson, really, who was projected to be a second round pick. You saw him go in the first round in the 20s. And so, offensive linemen, especially every interior offensive linemen, have been super, super important. The pick is in for the Giants. Um, I almost guarantee it's gonna be Shador Sanders, unless they want one of the more fluid runners with the football, Jalen Milroe or Jackson Dart. Let me roll down here to the bottom where the selection will actually show up on my screen, and we're gonna see who the New York Giants selected. They got a transcendent player in Abdul Carter with the number 3 overall pick. Just stayed patient early, handled their business. And man, you know what? The Giants actually could have just hung out with us, right? They could have just hung out with us and did a trade. I mean, they jumped up there at to number 25. Whoever they wanted, man, would have been on the board. I mean, shoot, Houston, I believe they traded back because they needed the capital in order to kind of build that offensive line. I guarantee Houston Texans come out of this draft with a couple of tackles and a couple of guards, and probably another wide receiver, probably uh, a tight end. They're gonna come out of this draft with a haul because they traded back from 25 all the way to wherever the New York Giants were picking. I think it's 34, maybe 35, somewhere in there. So that's 9 spots. And so I'm interested to see what the Giants gave up. But that's not important right now. I'm waiting for this pick to drop so we will know who they actually picked. Come on, ESPN, update your website. And I know if you guys are watching or catch it in the record, um, it's going to be a little later after the pick comes in, of course. But whoever this is not going to be Malachi Starks. It's not going to be Donovan Izaraku. It's not going to be any of those guys. And so here's the truth, man. All right, has it come up yet? Nope, still ain't updated. So really, it's just one pick. This pick is in, and it's not one of those guys, Starks or Izaraku. And so, unless the Los Angeles Rams get bought out, unless they get bought out of their pick, one of those guys will be available for us to take. Still waiting on the Giants pick to come up on my screen. Let me refresh just in case something's happened with my internet. Let me refresh it. Okay, now we back. Still ain't popped up yet. Okay, but I'm betting it's Shador Sanders. I'm betting that's who it is. Guaranteed as a quarterback, but I bet it's Shador Sanders. Ooh, this is getting on my nerves. I guarantee I will not use ESPN tomorrow for my update. I got to get this stuff in quicker, especially when we're talking about the draft. Oh, the Atlanta Falcons just made a trade and they traded up. I bet they're after Donovan Izaraku, or they're coming to get a guy like a Malachi Starks. I guarantee that's why Atlanta traded up. Who just the Los Angeles Rams just traded out of it, just popped up on my screen. They just traded out of pick 26. They're coming to get one of the guys uh, on our board. We know it won't be a quarterback. What? Okay, they did not pick Jackson. They did not pick Shador Sanders. They actually went with Jackson Dart. I did hear some rumblings that Jackson Dart was somebody that they had an appreciation for, that being the New York Giants. So they go with quarterback Jackson Dart um, at quarterback. So they get Abdul Carter, that being the Giants, and then they pick Jackson Dart with pick number 25. The Atlanta Falcons have traded into pick 26. Don't know the terms of the trade, but I know where they were picking in the second round. They had to give up a haul to get up here and get it. That's not important. That's not a trade that we have to really worry about in Baltimore. I believe it stands a good chance that we're trading out of this now. Okay, so I remember I told you in the kind of the pre-draft stuff that I believe would be 5 trades. So we had one trade with Cleveland. We've had another trade with New York. We've had another trade with Atlanta. Didn't somebody else make a trade too? Let me see. So we up to 3 trades. I have not checked to see if there was any kind of player trades yet or anything like that. So I don't know if that's relevant for us. So let me go and look at, see if I can see if there's any Baltimore Ravens news, any kind of something that I don't know about just yet, that I'm not even talking about. But if Atlanta traded up, they already knew who they were coming to get, and I bet it's Donovan Izaraku or Malachi Starks. I think one of those 2 players. Shoot, it might be Mike Green. I'd seen them linked to Mike Green as well. So I think it's going to be one of those players. It's going to be a defensive player, I believe. Let's see. No, I don't see any new news about a trade or anything like that. I don't see any rumors. So we must be up to date. Let me jump back to the ESPN and let's see if we have our trade in at this point in time. Here we go. Nope, I don't see anything popping up for the Baltimore Ravens yet. I don't see a new name of a team in the place that we are drafting. Let me go. Let me see if the pick is in for up here. Atlanta's on the clock. And the pick should be in though, because Atlanta, if you're trading up out of the second round, you know who you're coming to get. There's going to be a lot more. Yeah, the pick is in, so we're just waiting for the update on the site. Now I wish I had turned the chat on, because that would allow me to hear from you guys. But I definitely will have the chat on tomorrow night. We're gonna be talking first round stuff, talking who the Baltimore Ravens should target in the second round. And man, you know what? It's almost our time. It's almost showtime for the Baltimore Ravens. Now the question remains: will we pick at 27 or will we pick somewhere else? Let's see. The pick for Atlanta is in. It has not posted. Let's see. Let's see here. Got my grandson talking in the background. So if that's what you guys, if y'all hear any background noise, that is Theodore doing his thing in the background. Shout out to Little Belanger. Come on, ESPN. Update so I can know who Atlanta picked. I'm betting it's Donovan Izaraku or Malachi Starks. That's what I'm betting on. If Atlanta comes out to have taken Malachi Starks, the Baltimore Ravens is drafting Donovan Izaraku. If the Atlanta Falcons took Donovan Izaraku, the Baltimore Ravens are taking, with a guarantee, Malachi Starks. I don't see a trade popping up for Baltimore, which probably means they're staying put. Now, you guys know that I said that I would I would rather them trade out of this position. Nope. The Atlanta Falcons took James Pierce Jr. That means Malachi Starks and Donovan Izaraku are still on the board for our taking. Let me scroll down the draft picks just to make sure I didn't miss Izaraku, the best edge rusher left. Starks is the best safety in this draft class. I believe, I believe as of right now, even though the pick's not in, I believe we're going Malachi Starks. And if we go Malachi Starks, I'm fine at this point. You know what I'm saying? I know that Adarius Washington signed his tender and all that kind of stuff, and he'll be one of the starting players coming up this year. But I think this is his last year in Baltimore, and so getting a guy like Starks will be good. You won't have any complaints from me. It's 4 minutes left for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm super interested to see who we're going to pick. Super interested. Who do you guys want? I know I don't have the chat on, but who do you guys want? You know what I'm saying? Just for internal conversation. Who do you want to see the Baltimore Ravens take? I did not think Izaraku would be here. I'm leaning more towards Donovan Izaraku, and I'm gonna tell you why. Once you get past Malachi Starks, the safety play is very similar. There's just different size, weight variations, but all of them have skill sets that make them unique from the other. Xavier Watts is probably the better of the ball hawking safeties. Makuba has some ball hawk ability as well. Ransom is a solid player. And again, all of them are going to play along beside Darius Washington, which is why I say that drafting a safety in the first round wasn't really the biggest need. If you believe that we have needed a boosted edge rush, this is that opportunity. This is that opportunity at number 27 to get the eventual replacement for Odafe Owe. And that's Izaraku. I'm pretty sure he had 16 sacks last season in college. And so I think adding a guy who has that kind of production is a benefit. We haven't drafted a guy in 7, 8 seasons. The pick is in for the Baltimore Ravens. And so let's see who we pick. And then I will give my reaction to that pick. All right. So let me just get ready to hear us say who we got. Okay. Pick is in, which means the announcement has not been made yet. Super interested to see. I know it's one of those two players. I know it's Starks or Izaraku, because all of your offensive talent, as far as interior offensive linemen, they're already off the board. Again, Josh Conley is still available. Simmons is still available. But you can get somebody with, I think, an equal talent level in that second round. But there is going to be a drop off some point at pass rush. After the next 4 or 5 true edges that come off the board, there will be a drop off. And so waiting to see. It ain't said selection made yet. So as soon as that come in, we'll be ready. We'll be ready to have our pick announced. Come on with it. Come on with it. So I can talk about who the Baltimore Ravens have drafted. Oh my goodness, it's taking a long time, guys. We've been waiting almost. Let me see what time it is. Draft kicked off at 8. We've been waiting almost. Actually, we have been waiting over 3 hours to get to number 27. I'm not even sure if we stream all the way to 32. I'm not staying up 12 o'clock for this. We ain't got 5 more picks after this. I may stay. I may stay the rest of the first round, but I'm gonna definitely make sure I talk about who the Baltimore Ravens picked. Come on, ESPN, update the site. Let me hit refresh just in case. I really hope it's an edge rush over a safety. I think we can get a safety later in this draft. I know that it's not an offensive lineman. And I know it's not a wide receiver because Tech is gone. There's another wide receiver that went to the Charge. I can't remember if the Chargers took a wide receiver or not. And then, Chargers took Golden. Chargers took Golden, Matthew Golden. And so we finna see. Come on. We finna see who the Baltimore Ravens have selected for the 2025 draft with the 27th overall pick. Oh my gosh! Still don't say selection made. From the time they turn that card in to the time, I know they got to pay the bills, so I get it. I know they got to pay bills when it comes to these events. People got to make the commentary. They got to talk about the skill set. Okay, it says selection made. And once it says somebody else is on the clock, we will know who we picked. I am going to go ahead and go down here to the bottom. I'm going to stroll slowly so that when I get there, I'll know exactly what's happening in Baltimore. All right, Detroit's on the clock, so that means our pick is in. So let's roll right on down here. And what we're going to find out is, so I know the Baltimore Ravens are not trading back into the first round. So let's go down here and see who we got in the first round. Not back in the first round, back in two is what I'm referencing. Okay. So the Baltimore Ravens selected Malachi Starks, safety, which is kind of what we expected, right? It is kind of what we expected. Is what had been heard basically for the last 48 to 72 hours, that the Baltimore Ravens really liked Malachi Starks. And so we have a really nice duo on the back end. I think Starks is a true free safety for sure. I believe that he's already, barring any kind of unforeseen setbacks, injuries, things of that nature, he is the day one starter, which I think helps because that kind of puts Ardarius Washington in his rightful spot as a number 2 and probably a backup to Marlon Humphrey at the slot corner position. So let's talk about Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks is a 6'1", 197-pound safety, and everything you need in a free safety, this kid has. Okay, he has great speed, range, good cover ability. He's a right place, right time kind of guy. He can cover on the back end. He can come down and cover in the slot, and he's not missing anything as a safety. And so when you think about what we're going to be defensively, we are absolutely better on the back end, right? We're getting ready to pay a big salary to. I'm gonna close this up. We're getting ready to pay a big salary to Kyle Hamilton. And with that, we had to kind of reset the market at corner with Nate Wiggins. So we got cheaper there, more talented. Uh, we have started a 5-year clock on the free safety position. So really on our back end, we're not gonna have a whole lot of money invested other than Kyle Hamilton. I don't know what the draft of Malachi Starks means for Bo Braid. I do think Sanusi Kane is safe because he's a special teams ace. Um, but at this point, who cares? I mean, he's a UDFA. If he has special team value, wonderful. But hey, it kind of is what it is at this point. And so super glad to have Malachi Starks in house. Wish we could have got a Donovan Ezeraku. But Malachi Starks is going to help out the pass rush. Well, how can he do that? Because if he can hold coverage on the back end, him and Kyle Hamilton and Nate Wiggins, that allows more time for a pass rush to get there. I do believe we address pass rush later on in this draft, and I do believe we address pass rush also in the post-draft free agency. So, man, I'm super excited, man, about the new addition. Um, you can't hate on the best safety in the draft. And so, great, 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 great. It's great to see that we got a player that was on our big board for sure. It was a player that had been linked and rumored to us. We bring him in house. Now we can get busy. So, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Let you guys have it. I'm gonna go get to work on my Malachi Starks Walk on the Baltimore video. It'll be ready for you guys between tonight and tomorrow morning, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. with some talk concerning our draft pick and also lay the foundation for what we need to be looking at in day 2. I'm Miguel Boulanger. We're out.